City ready for Coman fight, Rose rubbishes Premier League return, Hammers close to Atletico switch, Leipzig agree terms for Liverpool target, and a transfer roundup all coming up in the next few minutes, as I'm your host Matt Fodek, you are the Onefootballers, and this is the Daily News. So first up, and according to certain reports in Germany, Manchester City are ready to fight Barcelona and Real Madrid for the signing of Kingsley Coman. Now, the French player has been injured for quite a few bits this season, and when he's come back, he hasn't exactly looked like he's the guy to take Bayern Munich to the next level. In fact, if anything, I think that these rumours are coming about mainly because Coman's place is under threat should Bayern go ahead and sign Leroy Sané. Now, nothing has been said yet from the player or from the club, but again, according to a few reports from Germany, he would accept if Bayern Munich were to sell him. Of course, he's going to get a massive contract elsewhere. If the likes of City, Real Madrid and Barcelona are interested in him, he can move to either one of them and probably be equally as happy with his playing time. As mentioned before, should Sané join, him and Naby would definitely be first choice. Coman comes back from injury now, and he's pretty much got a straight run into the attacking midfielder slots that he's so used to. But if Sané was there, he may not have the same, and he may find that his career stalls somewhat. Of course, if Sané goes to Bayern Munich, they might as well involve Coman in the deal, and it'll be a straight swap. But having said that, City's squad is a little bit bigger than Bayern, so maybe he may struggle for game time there as well. As I mentioned before, just a rumour coming out of Germany, and we're not so sure whether or not it's going to happen. It pretty much relies on the Leroy Sané deal. So next up, and away from some transfer news, and Tottenham's on loan fullback Danny Rose, currently at Newcastle, has absolutely slammed the proposal that the Premier League is set to return next month, calling it absolute. Now this is in regards to what Boris Johnson said about Premier League action being able to return after the 1st of June. He said there'd be a great He said there'd be a great lift for the spirit of the nation, but Rose has said that people's lives are at risk and he doesn't want to go back so soon. This echoes what other players have said as well, including Manchester City players Raheem Sterling and Sergio Aguero, as a few other teams in the Premier League who can't seem to agree, firstly, whether or not they should return because of public safety, and secondly, where the remainder of the game should be played. We spoke about this yesterday, and yeah, it seems Danny Rose, notorious for not really holding back when he's got something on his mind, has come out and completely said what he is feeling, and in all honesty, I can't help but agree with him. Why is it that there's so many rules in the country, yet a few of these players are like, well, we're not really going to apply the same rules to you because you have got to entertain us all like it's some sort of circus? I completely agree. If I was a footballer, I'd definitely be a little bit cautious about returning to the pitch, especially when the numbers in the UK aren't exactly doing much better. Already this week, we've seen that 3 unnamed Brighton players have already tested positive for the virus, and all it takes is for one player to get it, play a few games without noticing, and then suddenly whole other teams could have it, and the whole other thing just takes 10 steps backwards. For me, makes absolutely no sense in completing the rest of the season now. Don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to football coming back as much as everyone else, but there have got to be a few risks which probably aren't worth taking. But moving on to our next piece of news, and it comes from Madrid, Real and Atletico, in the fact that James Rodriguez could be moving from Real to their cross-city rivals. According to journalists in Colombia, James' home country, it is 80% done that he will be joining Diego Simeone's side. This was actually the same journalist who broke the news that he'd be moving on loan to Bayern Munich, so it's a little bit of a reputable source. Anyway, it's not exactly a strange thing for the two clubs to do deals between each other. Last summer saw Marcos Llorente move from Real to Atletico, and before that, Hernandez moved from Atletico to Real Madrid. He, of course, now finds himself at AC Milan, but that's neither here nor there. As for James, it would be a welcome end to a pretty nightmare spell at Real Madrid. He had a great first season after he joined, but in all honesty, in 6 years, he's had 124 games to them and hasn't played in La Liga since October. So next up, and Milo Rashica, the Werder Bremen forward, apparently has agreed personal terms with RB Leipzig. Now, all that's left to do for this deal to be complete is Leipzig to agree how much with Werder Bremen they are willing to pay. Apparently the German club, they're both German. Apparently the title-chasing club want to pay around 20 million euros for him, and that's somewhere between letting him go on a free, because Werder Bremen would have to do that when his contract expires next summer, and the 38 million euro release clause that he's got in his contract. Now, he's only scored 10 goals in all competitions this season, but considering how poor Bremen have been, and basically they look like they might get relegated from the Bundesliga when it returns, this is actually showing a pretty good player indeed. So much so that the likes of Liverpool and Dortmund were also interested in bringing him to their club. More so Liverpool than Dortmund, but this is where I think Jurgen Klopp may have a little bit of a master plan in place. Maybe this was all just a rumour, they weren't actually interested in Rashica too much. Leipzig go ahead, take him for 20 million so that they're prepared for when Timo Werner leaves. And where does he leave? To Liverpool. I knew it. Klopp is a master tactician in the transfer market as well. Anyway, for Rashica, it's a pretty good move up to Leipzig as they are planning to maybe, just maybe, win the title in the next few years and potentially take European football by storm. So lastly but not least, a quick roundup of the rest of the day's transfer news. And sticking with Leipzig, fullback Lucas Kosterman has signed a new deal with the club. If Barcelona are to let Nelson Semedo go, they want around 50 million euros for the Portuguese fullback. Roma are looking into a potential deal with Atlanta in swapping Josip Ilicic for Cengiz Under. And lastly but not least, City Football Group, who own Manchester City, Melbourne City, New York City and 9 other clubs around the world, have completed their 10th signing. Their 10th takeover, more like. Belgian second-tier side Lommel SK are the latest to be bought by the group as they continue their world domination. That makes them sound super evil. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about that. And the rest of today's daily news. Is Jurgen Klopp really having a tactical master plan? And will Kingsley Coman be leaving Bayern Munich? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Smash the like button and click here or here to check out all of the other videos we've got going on Onefootball. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.